So we're going to go over some massage techniques that you can do at home. All right, they're very easy, and it's just the way you kind of have to structure a massage to make it feel better or feel good for the patient on the table. So this is Mona, a friend of mine. She's helping us out today. And we're going to go over the neck and the shoulders. Okay. Right now, just kind of test it out. It's always good to have your hands kind of glide on the table to stretch the neck out. So I'm going to kind of press into the table. You can also go on your bed, and notice that you don't really have to, she doesn't really have to adjust much. If I press down, and then I have my contact already. All right, once I have my contact, that's already a stretch. So I can pull my fingers up to where her skull meets the first cervical vertebra, and C1, and that's already a good contact to start. All right, so you have an idea of what the muscles and how the muscle feels under your fingers and how it responds to your contact. Okay, you can actually change. So I want to focus on the right side of her neck here, and I'm going to pull and rotate her neck, but also I have a firm grip on, again, the base of her skull and the first cervical vertebra. Very secure. I have her stabilized on the left side, and I have all of this to work with. Okay, so I can change my tool. I can use my thumb, I can use knuckle, but I'm going to just firmly grasp using my whole hand. Okay, so I'm going to get my other hand here and just stroke up. And what I'm doing is I'm basically alternating both hands. Notice that this hand is just as important as the stroking hand, right? So as I'm coming up, I'm stabilizing with my left hand. And when I finish that stroke, I come and reset. Now I have these two fingers to continue that stroke. A very simple setup. Again, this is all beginning warm-up strokes to help the tissues ease into my treatment. Now I can actually use the back side of the knuckles, or I call it an open fist. So it's a very loose fist, but I can use that loose fist and just place it here and just slowly stroke down as I'm still holding that contact, that stretch with the left hand. Offering a stretch and a stroke, so I'm giving some compression to the tissue. And notice how slow I'm going. You don't want to go so fast because you're actually going to just glide over the superficial skin. You could burn it. It's not really comfortable. You'll irritate the skin. We're looking for the muscle belly here. And again, you're maximizing the blood flow here. It's almost like you're pressing into a sponge, right? What we can also do is offer some stretches to open up the range of motion for our neck. And also by stretching the muscle, you're actually preparing it for maybe deeper treatments later on, okay? So we already had her head tilted to the left and rotated to the left. Well, we could encourage her to actually move a little bit more, okay? So I'm gonna have a firm grip here. Always like to have a firm, stable grip when I'm moving these joints, because again, you can never be too careful. Now with this stretch, we want to encourage left lateral rotation and left lateral flexion for her neck to open and free up this area that we've been working on. So I'm gonna grab, I already have a firm contact on my right hand, and we're gonna encourage her to lean to the left side, to stretch out the right neck. So my other hand is gonna contact the opposite shoulder or the right shoulder. So I'm gonna anchor that gently, okay? You don't need a kung fu grip here, and I'm basically gonna stabilize this joint as I encourage and open up this head. And just doing that, I'm actually putting all my force, mostly on the right hand. I'm just pressing away as this stabilizes and I anchor this shoulder joint. Because if I don't do that, it's gonna move with the neck, and we don't want that, okay? So I'm gonna press down, encourage that shoulder to stay put, and then I'm going to stretch that. And I'm just on the skull, right? I'm not pressing against the neck at all. And then we're just stretching and freeing up that neck. What you can also do, be a little creative here. You can actually offer some compression strokes as you're anchoring. You're gonna go slow, you don't wanna move too much because you're still stretching. And then I can also, in this position, I can offer some strokes as well. So I would have to change my position. So you can actually, sometimes I would stand up here. Keep this rotation, but then you can take both hands and you kind of scoop. This is how you get more of the posterior neck. you're gonna alternate your hands and scoop and open. And notice I'm still contacting and anchoring that. And it's best to go slow here, but I always find this to be very helpful for my clients when they have very locked up necks, a lot of tension in their shoulders because they sit down all day, or they're just stressed out, right? So this is a great way to free up the trap, free up the levator scapula, all the muscles that cross the shoulder and the neck. All right, this is the last one, so I'm gonna come up. And then I can finish up by just doing some scooping, come under. So I'm actually making contact on the left side of her neck, and I'm scooping it towards the right. And just doing this over time, it's very sedating, it's very relaxing. And then when you come back to neutral, I'm gonna hold this contact here, and I could go back into my seated position and then help her to get back to neutral, all right? And then I got my other hand and I scoop it back. But it's all about stabilizing any kind of joint you're working with, because they have to trust you. You don't want to make any abrupt movements, and you just hold that.